Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Today we will be learning about neurological music therapy and the brain. We will be talking about the 5 types of brain waves that we have and how music therapy and playing our harps can be helpful to each type of brain wave. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial and also let me know if you have any questions at the end. So let's get into it. Did you know that your brain produces waves exactly like music does? I like to think of the brain as an incredibly complex musical instrument. It can create endless patterns of melodies. It can create major melodies when it is happy, meaning it can create positive neurons and neurological pathways. But exactly like we can play in a minor key, our brain can also have less positive neurological pathways and neurons, and it can make us feel low, unwell, or very stressed or depressed. So your brain carries different frequencies which are measured in hertz. So hertzes with their own rhythms, timbres, and dynamics. All these patterns together form what we call brain waves. So today we will be exploring the 5 types of brain wave, which are alpha, beta, delta, gamma, and theta, and we will be working through what each one of these means, what they do, and how music therapy and playing our harp can impact our brain waves. So I hope you enjoy this as we learn more about neurological music therapy and the scientific reasoning behind our cognitive health and why the harp and also worship and healing can be so helpful to our brains. So firstly, what are brain waves? They are neural oscillations, which are tiny electrical signals in the brain which measure just a millionth of a volt. So we can detect them using electrodes which are on the scalp, which we can put on the scalp with a technique called electroencephalography or an EEG. So brain waves link to our consciousness, our memory, our creativity, our rest, and our healing. So each wave has its own frequency or voltage or hertz, and it also has its own amplitude, which means its volume. So exactly like with the harp, if I play a small chord, that would be a low amplitude, but if I play a very big chord or big strum, that would be a very high amplitude. So the exact same with our brains. So let's begin with the alpha waves, which measure between 8 to 12 hertz. So alpha waves appear when we are awake but calm, if our eyes are closed, daydreaming, meditating, or praying. So they are the most present at the back of our head, which is the visual cortex. So they connect different parts of the brain's white matter. So whenever we have our eyes closed and we're in meditative prayer, that is also when we are able to create a lot of alpha waves. So the alpha waves bridge our conscious from our subconscious, and they help us to feel at peace, open, and creative. And healthy alpha waves help us to lower our anxiety, to encourage clear thinking, and to boost our mood. Simple things like spending time in nature, playing our harp in a slow meditative way can naturally raise our alpha waves. Playing and learning a musical instrument can also really boost our neuroplasticity, which is our brain's amazing way to form and create new connections, which can support our memory, our mood, and also support our focus as well. So if we try to sit quietly, closing our eyes and listening to some soft harp music for 10 to 20 minutes, or if we have our harp outside with us, we can really notice how our mind calms and really emerges and merges into nature, and this is because we are creating more relaxed alpha waves. So let's move on to our beta waves, which are between 12 to 30 hertz. So beta waves are much higher frequency waves linked to active thinking, problem solving, and staying alert. So whenever we are planning or analysing or beginning to do our tasks, we are in a beta state. And a healthy amount of this beta helps us to keep focused, it helps us to stay on track, but too much of it can cause anxiety, racing thoughts, and attention. So it is very good to be able to try to engage more with our relaxed state and try to get more of our alpha waves, as well as this have to get things done state of being. If you want to strengthen your beta waves, you could play structured rhythmic harp pieces like scales and arpeggios and much of the more technical skill, and that will help you to engage your beta waves more. This is especially very helpful for students or people who are working, who want to stay sharp while they are either working or studying. Rhythmic harp practice can also really help people who have ADHD, because people with ADHD often become overwhelmed and are not able to stay in their beta wave state, and they actually move more into the delta state, which is the sleep state, which we will move on to next. And that is because it's almost like their brain shuts down because they are too overwhelmed. So if you want to begin with a smaller task on the harp, it can slowly help you to merge into actually wanting to move on with your harp work if you're just very, very overwhelmed, which is why I say if you are a little bit overwhelmed with your harping, always just begin with a healing harp meditation, because it can really ease you into that workflow. Okay, so let's move on to our theta waves, which are between 4 and 8 hertz. Theta waves sit between wakefulness and sleep. So they are really that middle piece between our sleep and when we are awake. So they are linked to our deep relaxation and creativity, in the light sleep state or in a kind of semi-dream state. You often move into your theta if you are in a very deep healing harp meditation and you have moments of inward focus where your thoughts really can have time to be still and to flow. Theta is also deeply linked to memory formation, intuition, and emotional processing. So I always think when it says like to pour our hearts out before the Lord like water, that you are actually entering into that state and you are really able to process everything out with Him, which is why I feel like the healing harp meditations and also worship is a real type of therapy, and one that I also use often. Children naturally spend a lot more time in this theta state than adults. This is why they can learn so freely and imagine so vividly, because they are in this theta state. And adults, we can try to tap back into this state more, as I said, through worship and prayer, and also through improvisation, because that is a real way where we are learning how to be a lot more creative on our harps. So soft, repetitive harp music and very gentle improvisation can help to guide our brains into the theta state, calming the mind and opening us up into some deeper creativity, and moving into some soaking worship as well, journaling, and then being able to really connect with God and nature as well. Whenever we are in this state, it is less focused on technique and more about not wanting to be perfect, but just really allowing ourselves to emotionally process on our harps and just holding some space for ourselves too. So let's move into the delta waves. These are 0.5, so only a half to a 4 hertz, and this is because it is the sleep wave, or when we're in the sleep state. So this is a lot of our restorative sleep for our healing and also our immunity support as well. Babies, when they're very small, are often in this state, as you would notice that they sleep for a lot more hours in the day than us. And also in the womb, you are mostly in your delta state. High delta waves can also be seen in people who have a brain injury. So that's often the realm that I have worked in, where I would work with someone who had an ABI, and you would really be using your music to try and rouse them into more of an alpha wave state where they can be a bit less sleepful. If you have insomnia or you would like to move more into this delta wave state, you can play relaxing slow harp music, especially lullabies or soft music can really help your brain shift into the delta state. Many people use harp music as a natural sleep aid, as I'm sure you know, and it is actually a proven alternative to sleep medication, particularly if it's in a low hertz, because as we said, this is a low hertz wave. We want to play very low hertz music, so I recommend moving our harp into a 432 hertz if you can, if that is some of the work that you would like to do with people with insomnia or even for yourself. So researchers have found that calming music and calming harp music can even change our brain function as powerfully as some medication in terms of sleep. So you can try lying down, listening to slow flowing harp pieces for at least 30 minutes before sleep, or you can just play the same C to F to C pattern to help you move yourself very slowly into the delta wave state. The last brainwave we will talk about is the gamma wave, which is 30 to 44 hertz and above. So gamma waves are the fastest wave and appear when your brain processes complex information across many areas all at once. It is linked to memory, learning, perception, and moments of very deep insight, like that aha moment or eureka moment. That is a gamma wave moment. So monks also are known to experience a lot of this during their meditations, and it's when you get a full boost of this knowledge. A well-regulated gamma rhythm supports clear thinking, learning, and those aha moments when everything clicks into place. Listening to some layered harp music, pieces with many polyphonic, meaning interweaving melodies, can really gently stimulate those gamma waves by engaging multiple parts of the brain all at one time. For people with Alzheimer's, this is really, really helpful for older people, and that's why sometimes whenever I work with older people in the care home, I'll also hand them out some smaller instruments and they'll hold them as well as they sing, as well as they're hearing me. So there's a lot happening all at one time. It can help to trigger reminiscence as well, which is where they remembering who they are, remembering where they're from, remembering some memories of their past can be really helpful to invite our brain to stay active. So in conclusion, music has a profound effect on both our mind and our body. Fast, upbeat music can boost our energy. It can really help lift our mood and our motivation. Soft, slow music can really help calm our mind and relax our soma, or our nefesh, meaning our whole being. It can help us let go of our daily stress and find rest. So research shows that music around 60 beats per minute can synchronize our brain into an alpha state, which is relaxed yet awake. If we want to move into a deep sleep into our delta state, we can listen to soft, relaxing harp music for 30 minutes in a quiet, restful place. And so the next time you play your harp or listen to harp music, remember you're not just creating music, but you are also tuning your brain waves actively, and you're also nurturing your mind and bringing yourself into harmony, and there is real scientific neurological reasoning behind this. So thank you so much for listening to this tutorial. I hope you find this interesting, and I would love to hear if you have any questions about this. And the next topic I would love to talk about is our nervous system. and how music can help us move into our parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we feel relaxed and calm, and how that works and how we can actively do that. So I look forward to seeing you in our next tutorial.